It's September 2nd, 2021. This is live from New York on NBC New York, which is Channel 4, apparently. This is state of emergency, I guess, or I don't even know what that means, but in New Jersey. And they say some interesting things.
Live from News 4 New York, this is a special report.
Good morning, I'm Michael Gorgiou. We're coming on the air to give you the latest on Ida's deadly raft. We just got new information on 5 people who have died in Elizabeth, New Jersey, 1 confirmed death in Passaic, and then 8 dead in New York City. This is Governor Phil Murphy. Live pictures here. Governor Phil Murphy is touring.
Now, what's really interesting is there's something called Murphy's Law in a tri-state. There's New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut. So I heard is what they consider tri-state. You've got New York, well, let's just put it this way. New Jersey has a Governor Murphy. I don't know where the mic comes in other than the one that I knew out in Patchogue.
Tornado damage in Mulliken Hill. This is in Harrison Township, and you can see some of the damage right behind him. We're expecting him to come to that podium to make remarks about what he has just seen. Let's listen to Governor Murphy.
Good to see you.
Their words. I want to thank Mayor Lou Menzo for hosting us with this unspeakable, extraordinary event. As I said to him, he and I have gotten to know each other over the past 24 hours, not necessarily in the way that we would have hoped. I want to thank the Senate President Steve Sweeney, your side of us right now, the impact of these tornadoes that touched down in this county, and here, obviously Mulliken Hill, but also Winona, Deptford, Woodbury Township. Thank God, unless someone knows otherwise, casualties are extremely limited, which is there, but for the grace of God, which is extraordinary. Look at the house behind us, and if you want to get a sense of how it could have been. And as Steve Sweeney has said, if you look at either side of the path of this, you've got houses to the left and right, which are largely intact, if not completely intact. Again, you've got houses that right in the path that are destroyed. Up north, the story was less tornadoes, but overwhelming flooding. And largely the big roads are open, although 78 and 280 are still works in progress. And there are...
You have to remember, 78, star 1978, and then there's 280. Yeah, there were 2 of us delivered, an astronomical in the house of 5, which is August, the Augustas. And you have kept us astrologically and cosmologically in a dangerous situation. You've got me here in what I call test kitchen. And you've got him, God only knows where, because I have no access to him. And we're not allowed to be separated, but you humans think you're more important.
Are a lot of off-ramps and other road challenges that we still have before us. That's correct. But it was largely a storm, with tornadoes being the big story in the south and flooding being the big story in the central and northern part of the state.
So tornadoes to the south and flooding to the central and to the north. In tunnel service, in manifestations, in the way that the quiet secret operation is having trouble in actually making the manifestations work between my astrological zodiac sign and who I belong to in Manifest Destiny. Right, at manifesting problems. It seems when it's allowed to work properly and function properly, the nature course tells on the humans and tells them exactly where they're effing up. Should they finally, I don't know, they always thank God that they're so safe, but then they never want to listen to God when God, puts a report together and says, this is what I need.
And this is going to take us some time to dig out of. There's no question about it. And I want to just say, on behalf of all of us, we're going to stay here. and be by the side of the residents and the small businesses that have been impacted so severely. You're barely getting, if you're a small business, you're barely getting back on your feet from a pandemic, and you get whacked by this, and you ask yourself rightfully, life's not so fair sometimes, but I promise that we will stay with everybody, and it won't be a short road, but we will stay with them on that road to recovery.
That life is not fair. That does bring interesting word to light, considering that I am one white woman who was destined for a different track and a different whatever, but they broke the safety system in the United States of America by pulling me in through out of body of my normal spot experience into this test kitchen area project that I never agreed to, and then withholding me from going out. I'm a white woman. Why would I want fellowship in any other color? Why would I want opinion written in any other color? Why would I need my situation explained at top secret classified level to anything in any other color than just the man that I was taken from and the same genetic closet that we come from? They should know things about my situation and about how to get me out of test kitchen quietly and moving on. But instead, you've got like seats in the test kitchen now of all sorts of other, they're not us. Why are they I'm supposed to get married. It's an embarrassing feat that the idiots in my own genetic closet couldn't keep me in the same alignment. Now you want to bring in other people's family members and really embarrass the fuck out of them? Oh, here we are. Why nothing ever gets accomplished. In the I really couldn't give a shit closet. Why don't you fucking kill them all? Do me a favor so we can get the fuck out of here and never be human again.
I said to her, and she's been terrific, and her team has been terrific, that we will be sending in a major disaster declaration request today. I will speak shortly with the president and reiterate that and thank him for his support and help. And that will be a game changer if that is accorded in terms of our ability to get individuals, families, businesses, and our infrastructure and the cleanup back to where it should be. NJ Transit is a work in progress, both on the rail and the bus side, somewhat depending on where you are in the state. Versus the Atlantic City line, I'm told, has been clear sailing, which is good news, but that's not the case for most every other line in the central and northern part of the state. As I mentioned, the highways getting a work in progress. The Parkway and Turnpike are wide open north to south, and that's good. We've got a couple of challenges still on the interstates.
Of course the Turnpike is open. All the shitbags that really should never have had a seat. Oh, but they have clearance, huh? What a fucking surprise.
Or the numbers, we did not have them here, thank God, but we have had them in the central and northern part of the state, so please keep those folks in your prayers. And as we get more specificity on that, we will obviously let you know, but sadly more than a few folks have passed as a result of this. I think that is it as a general matter, other than, as I say, we'll stay at this as long as it takes. I will likely be doing some more stops later this afternoon, probably in the central and northern part of the state, and those will be largely getting a handle on the flooding impact there. Again, we keep all of the victims, both individuals.
Look at the size of that Bastille. I mean, like, it is, I don't know, about 8, 10 times the size of the house I'm living in at the moment, that's for shit sure.
On our feet. I guess I'll close with a pretty obvious statement, but the world is changing, right? These storms are coming in more frequently. Steve and I were on the phone last night on this topic. They're coming in more frequently. They're coming in with more intensity.
They're covered in brackish water, it would look like.
Our resiliency, our whole mindset, the playbook that we use.
It's a muddy mess.
We got to leap forward and get out ahead of this. this. Any infrastructure money we get, I'll bet you a lot of it will be put into resilient infrastructure, because that's exactly
Resilencing infrastructure? Is that what he's saying? Because that hasn't worked thus far. You might want to look at a new game plan there, pal.
I think any amount of investment we can make in the years ahead in resilient infrastructure will be investment that will help us, please God, if we have to deal with things like this going forward in the years ahead.
You got areas of people that know way too much about one white chick and her problem trying to get out. And then you got a couple of good white guys that try to follow the directions, but their words give away secret areas, like get ahead of things, and then it becomes a whole muddy fucking flooded mess of never gets anywhere. Just so we're clear how things evolve.
Seriously injured is just amazing. But when we look at this, and we were in Washington last night monitoring, we were in session till 3 o'clock this morning. We jumped on the train and literally I got stopped in Delaware because we couldn't get into Philadelphia or above, as you know. Yeah. This is a problem that's going on. But we never had tornadoes of this nature when we grew up. Occasionally a small one. What we see behind here is change. And you mentioned the infrastructure that...
What this is this is a mass. When you're in tunnel service and you're doing flash volcanology, like at that level of Tillis, and you're watching, and then all of a sudden you have a bubble break and a swarm comes out like this and then retunnels, and then the whole system degenerates and moves. This is what we already saw before I was born. And every time we have session at Alien Life in Not Human, when we get a break, and you broke shit so fucking badly that I actually get to leave my skin and move on, and I'm happy as anything in out of body. But then I come back, and this is the hellhole I'm stuck in, while you're all living in some Bastille community of, like, really important things. And then, like, you just don't want to deal with my big mouth and my calling it like it is. But here's the deal. This is what a swarm looks like in volcanology with a set tunnel, and it becomes a problem when it doesn't get aborted properly. And then it eats through my one white, like tunnel. I have one white light tunnel. That's where I go to in order to fix this world and the world that has color in it. Whatever color looks like. Add 99 bottles of, they all look like this, or they're a little darker. Other than that, they make different sounds. They smell different. I really don't care. I don't like wearing human skin anyway, so it's just a bunch of light as far as I'm concerned, or glass bottles on a shelf. What I'm responsible for is the perimeter and making sure that this doesn't eat through the perimeter to get in to cause havoc and chaos in a situation like this. That's what I was designed for, built for. Like, every human is supposed to have a purpose, otherwise it's not supposed to exist. You get a mouth to communicate and lead with or explain what you've found. You get hands to move in some fashion in order to become more useful. What's been a real problem is the fact that you all decided to put me in a fucking box cage or bird cage system where I can't get out. I'm stuck in Bayside Station, Bayside, New York, 11361. I'm stuck on Earth, in a solar system, in a Milky Way, in a universe, and in between the solar system and the Milky Way at galaxy level, the whole fucking system's broke. We know why. There's a storm system swarm and a tunnel service problem that broke through the barrier up top, ate through it, got into several Tillis, and then moved the whole the air-bended the entire scenario to, like, incorporate themselves in now learning about stuff under the guise of public safety. Just go kill them. I don't see why they're allowed to live when they're causing such chaos that the swarm has grown so big. They don't show outside manifestations unless something serious is going on the inside. And on the inside, I mean like out of this world, like outer rim, planetary management. I'm not talking about like cutesy patootsy, like runs a state. That's like state management. Great. State management works with something outside that then works with planetary and machinery. Wonderful. I don't know the words you use for respectful manner, so you're all just going to be a mister to me at this point, since in the United States of America, when you write a letter, it's Mr. or Mrs. That's it. It's a GOV? Sure. Still a mister.
Actually, that's exactly what we're working on. Luckily, we're going to get that done and bring those much-needed resources to what we have here today. Speaking with FEMA, we reloaded them because this storm was supposed to make a right-hand turn, go out to sea by